welcome back to the poorly advertised BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO live stream. The live stream podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. Yo, Jim Dunn, what's up, my Niji? BOOZHOO Niji. Hello, brother. Your friend, or however you want to define Niji. BOOZHOO, hello. How you doing, Niji? Mino Gigajeb. Good morning. I just barely made it on time. And I just can't get it together to get on Facebook or to schedule these shows. But anyway, here we are. So today is, what is it, Tuesday? Nijo Gija good? Today is Ojibwe word of the day. The second day. In the Anishinaabe language, we call Tuesday second day. This kind of sounds right, you know, because Tuesday sounds like two, but I don't think that's what it has to do with anything. So yeah, up just early. I actually slept in today. I slept in until 5. That's not like me. I'm usually awake before then. Yesterday, I think I was up at 3. My sleep schedule's all screwed up because of this. I'm not even sure what to call it. The quarantine, because of the pandemic, because of the apocalypse. Not apocalypse. What do they call it? I'm forgetting how they said that. The apoco cough or something. My Sharona. My Corona. If you need a friend. How's it going, sweetie? I'm doing good. You gonna come on the show today? I don't know, maybe. Okay. La 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 la. How you doing, Michael? Oh, I'm great. How are you? Oh, not too bad. It's early morning, Nino Gigago. So what should we talk about today? On this beautiful Tuesday, it is January 12th. It is, oh, I know it. This is my brother Scott's birthday. Scotty's, how old is he now? He must be 56. Mino Dibishka. Scotty. Scott. Mino Dibishka. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Mino Dibishka. Happy birthday, big brother. Happy birthday to you. And many more birthdays. I don't know why we give people presents on their birthday. We should give their moms presents. Mother's Day should be your birthday. Mother's Day should be the day you buy presents for your mom. I mean, she's the one who did everything on that day. She's the only one that remembers that day. Why are you celebrating your birth? You should be celebrating your mom. And if you need a friend. Okay, BOOZHOO Gichi Manado. Tagawi Duka Wishin. Ando Menaway Nungum. Please help me to speak well today. I'm not sure what stories I might want to tell. Little update for the viewers of the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast. We had a show yesterday. Not a show. We had an interview yesterday with some people up in another reserve in Ontario. I'm forgetting. I hope they don't watch us. I'm forgetting which one it was. It wasn't the Telegami in Bear Island. It was another place. And hey, BOOZHOO, Geraldine. Happy birthday to my brother. We want you, big brother, big brother. I know you think you're awful square, but you've made everyone and you've been everywhere. Lord, I'd take an overdose if you knew what's going down. someone to claim us. That's an old David Bowie song. It was my older brother who introduced me to David Bowie when I was like a 7th grader or something. You know, I was like a normal kid, and we went to the record store there, and I had Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run in one hand, and David Bowie, Changes in another one. And my brother was like, man, get that Changes album. You know that song, Changes, you like that? You should listen to it. I'm like, okay. And then it started me down a path where it was like, you know, there's a David Bowie path when you start listening to all the weird music and you started to care about art and theater and, you know, being rebellious meant putting on eyeliner. You want to make your dad mad, you know. Put on some eye makeup in the morning. Yeah, take that, rednecks. I'm a Bowie fan. But yeah, good brothers are good for introducing you to new ideas. My brother also taught me how to drink and smoke, so that was helpful. How to sneak into a drive-in theater by hiding in a trunk of a car. You don't have to pay if you hide in the trunk with the spare tire and all that. I learned that the hard way. Let's see, what else did he teach me? You know, before he introduced me to David Bowie and corrupted my life, I was like, I was sort of an artist kid. Like, I drew a lot and I played and had an imagination. But I was a normal kid. I played sports and, you know, I dressed like a normal kid. But then my brother's influence made me start, you know, he introduced me to, you know, rock stars and rock and roll magazines and ideas and stuff. And pretty soon I'm dressing like a new wave guy. Pretty soon I'm wearing those old blazers with the where you roll up the sleeves. Put on your bandana, but don't put it on your face. I mean, that would be lame. You just wear it on your neck, or on your wrist, or your ankles. You could put a bandana just about anywhere in the 80s. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, you got it up on your upper thigh? How come? Oh, it kind of looks like a garter belt. Oh yeah, good fashion idea. It's 1985, so we should, hey, I know. You want to go buy some Levi's out of denim? Go buy some jeans? Yeah, we could do that. Or we could go buy some made out of parachute material. And we can put some zippers all over them, and we'll buy the parachute pants. Because it is the 80s. And we're going to go in and spend a lot of money. I think the 80s was when haircuts got really expensive. They sort of plateaued at $20 for about 20 years there. But a haircut in my lifetime, it went from being like a $2 thing at the barber or at, you know, your auntie's house. You know, your mom would bring all the kids over to, you know, her friend's house because she had a home business of cutting kids' hairs. What was her name? Angel? I think I had my hair cut by a lady named Angel when I was a kid. And you'd go over there and she'd cut your hair and you have to wait in line with your siblings. But it was cheap. And then the 80s came, and now suddenly everybody had to put in goo in their hair and then go spend 20, 25, 30 bucks on a haircut that made you look ridiculous. Oh, I'd like my hair to stand straight up on top, really long in back, but nice and short on the sides. Can you do that? I got a job interview. I got a job interview I got to go to. I need to look my best in 1985. Oh, would you like a matching jacket and slacks? No, thank you. I'll be wearing the parachute pants with the bandana on the ankle and a t-shirt underneath a second-hand blazer. And then, of course, my hair will look like David Bowie. Because it is 1985 or 84 or whatever. And still, I would say those are better times. 1984. And not better times because we didn't have as much strife politically. You know, the news just wasn't around in the 80s. You got like an hour of it at night. And then even that was mostly just sports and human interest and celebrities. You would basically get like 10 minutes of current events in the 80s. The news would come on and be like, welcome to the serious news. I am blah, blah, blah guy, and you don't even know my politics. And here are the news. First in the news, the space shuttle blew up. Well done, NASA. You're really crushing it with your technology these days. But they blew up the space shuttle, and, what else is in the news? Oh, there's some great movies this year. You know, you can go see Sharon Stone in something gross. What else? The 80s music was glam metal and style awesome and lots of hairspray for my hair. Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, I'm making fun of the 80s, but at the same time, it is true. I really enjoyed the clothing and the hair. And the ladies, oh, wow. You guys look great. Women look great with big old curly hair and tons of makeup and bangs that defy gravity. You know, the 80s was it was in some ways kind of like daring and in some ways kind of prudish. Like the girls were a mix of Madonna, you know. That's when like the ladies started wearing, you know, clothing where the shoulder would fall off and you'd see their bra strap. You're like, oh wow, that girl's wearing a red bra. You can tell because she's wearing a big old, you know, stretched out sweatshirt or sweater or something that totally covers her body, except for that one shoulder, you know. And, you know, they wear the high-waisted jeans. You never saw a belly button in the old days. You know, ladies were like, you know, don't be looking at my gut. You're gross. Now you walk around and people's pants are hanging off their butts. You know, when kids play basketball now, if like during recess, the teenagers, I mean, I don't know about now. I'm assuming I still see baggy pants. They have to have one hand like holding up their pants and then they dribble with the other hand. It's ridiculous. It's like, oh, let's do a layup, and then their pants fall down. When I was a kid, our pants were tight. We had those shorts that would come all the way up. You could see, you know, our legs. We had really short shorts, but then we had socks that would go all the way up to the knee. I don't know, it's weird how things change like that. Anyway, Michael, you want to come up and talk about the 80s? That you're so stuck in? Yeah, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Lyons. BOOZHOO, everybody. Oh, this is such an awkward transition. I'll be back, I promise. My coffee's growing cold. Hi. Good morning. We will work this out one day. This is going to get real smooth in the future. It'll be like, hey, is that a professional show? Am I watching The Tonight Show? Or a cheap podcast with some weirdo? Sheila, good morning. Good morning, Sheila. It's nice to see you here. Exodus is here. Howdy. Exodus, you are such a interesting person. I really enjoy your emails, but your letters are so long that I feel bad not responding or responding just real short. And I haven't made the time to get back to all your messages, but please know that I am reading them at least. So how are you guys doing today? Am I all washed out again? That's not too bad. It's a little bad. So yeah, the 80s. I didn't know I was going to grow up to be one of those middle-aged guys who is stuck back in the time when he was a teenager. But so much of the music I still love, the movies I still like, and just the sensibility of the 80s makes sense to me still. You know, sometimes I feel like I don't really fit into 2021. And, you know, we all know what that's like for elders. In Ojibwe, the word for elder is Gitchianashinabe. They say this about, and what it actually means is great human being. Gitchianashinabe, it was just kind of the way they would call their elders. Oh, here comes some Gitchianashinabe. And you had this reverence for them, but we all know like old people don't really understand what's going on. I remember when my grandma was still alive, I think she died the same year Michael Jackson died. And so we were watching This Is It, or whatever, his last concert documentary thing. And we're sitting there just flipping through TV or whatever, and it was on. And I go, hey, Grandma, you remember Michael Jackson? Remember ABC, the Jackson 5? And she was like, oh, yeah, I remember that little boy. And I was like, yeah, that's Michael Jackson now. She had somehow missed out on the whole Michael Jackson. In her mind, she stopped paying attention anyway when Michael Jackson was a kid. She didn't even know he had grown up. You know? And she wasn't aware of that men... She probably was aware that some people got plastic surgery, but she just didn't pay attention to that we were living in a time when Michael Jackson's face would have made any sense to her. And so she's watching Michael Jackson, and he comes out in all that last year glory where he just looks like a ghoul, and he weighs about 100 pounds, and he's just sickly looking. And everyone is screaming, going nuts, acting like he's just on the top of his game. And at first she looks at him, she goes, he looks like a girl. I went, yeah, he's had a lot of plastic surgery going on. He's wearing a lot of makeup. She goes, he looks like a puppet. I was like, yeah, I think he might be, Grandma. I'm not sure. Thank you, Exodus. Yeah, this is kind of a cool gathering. It occurred to me that maybe I might try to do this on the regular instead of like once a month or something. To maybe I'll commit to it before the end of the week. But if I find myself doing a live stream every day this week from 6 until 7, I might just start doing that. I got a Patreon, a new Patreon supporter. I've gotten 2 new Patreon supporters this week. People who are contributing monthly to the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO show. And, the people who, I have a small group of people who just automatically send in money every month, and they have no demands. They're like, yeah, if you want to make those little videos with your puppets, that's cool. The live streams, they seem to support it. And so I'm starting to feel like, well, if people are actually paying me, maybe I can deliver something. And so I'm going to see, like, maybe this week if this can become our little coffee clutch. And we can invite other people, but we'll just see how this goes. This might be something. I'm not making any sense of mine. So the 80s. You had your parachute pants and your gorgeous women. And, but so elders. So I saw how my grandmother, lost touch with modern, current events or whatever. But I also saw how it just didn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like, when 9/11 happened, I was still young and engaged and everything, so I was upset and watched the TV for 3 days. My grandmother probably watched it, got the news, and then shut off the TV and went about her day, and never bothered to comment on it. She had no opinions on terrorism. She had serious issues like her kidneys failing or whatever. So I loved when I was a kid. And this condition went on well into my 20s. That lonely, gazing loser at some girl that you wish you could be involved with. I once wrote a short little poem in college that started something like, how many times does a man have to sigh before he loses consciousness or before he goes lightheaded or something? Because my early youth was gazing longingly at girls I liked, and over and over, every season there was a new girl. So this is a song by Joe Jackson, and it's called Is She Really Going Out With Him? Pretty women are walking with gorillas down my street. From my window I'm staring while my coffee grows. Look over there, there is a lady that I used to know. She's married now or engaged or something so odd. Is she really going out with him? Is she really gonna take him home tonight? Is she really going out with him? If my eyes don't deceive me, there's something going wrong around here. Around here. Tonight's a night when I go to all the parties down my street. Wash my hair and I kid myself real smooth. Over there, there is Jeannie with her boyfriend. Say that looks don't come from much, well so there goes your I love that line. They say that looks don't count for much. Well, there goes your proof. And then you look at Joe Jackson, and he's like some pencil-necked. No, he wasn't real handsome either. Is she really going out with him? And he was also totally flaming homosexual. So, you know, I don't think he pined after a girl necessarily. Is she, how's that go? Is she really gonna take him home tonight? Is she really going out with him? If my eyes don't deceive me, there's something going wrong around here. Around here. And then it gets kind of dark. But if looks could kill, there's a man there who's marked down as dead. The actual lyrics, if looks could kill, there's a man here who's marked down as dead. Because I've had my fill, listen you. It's really dark. He's gonna kill somebody. He's so in love with this girl he can't have. But if looks could kill, there's a man there who's marked down as dead. 'Cause I've had my fill. Listen you, take your hands from her head. I get so mean around the sea. Hey, 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 Feedback a little, whereas thank you for telling me that, Jim. Doggone it. I had it all set up. Is it maybe? I'm so sorry, you guys. There's nothing more annoying than when a person Check, check, check. Jim, can you give me a check? Check, check. But if looks, yeah, this is just too hot, isn't it? But if looks could kill, there's a man there who's marked down as dead. We'll get this together, you guys. Feedback a little, whereas your sound. And then is the guitar really loud and gross? This is the other good thing about doing the show for me. I don't know, is anyone still watching? Is that I need to work out this equipment. I forgot to say this. I'm all over the place this morning. We're doing a virtual visit in Canada next week. And I'll be doing a storytellers event in the evening up there. And so we checked the sound yesterday, but I actually couldn't work it out. I had to use just the... Oh, I wonder what's going on if we're using the camera microphone. You are... Yeah, are you plugged in? I am plugged in. Okay, Jim. Here's the guitar. Is the guitar way too loud or sound bad? But if looks could kill. Let me know, is it the vocal that sounds bad? And is that's it? That's it good? But if looks could kill, there's a man there who's... I'm just going to cringe when I watch this later and see how bad the audio is. Plug in. Alright, let me check one thing, you guys. The settings. Can I do this on... Okay, the sound is better. Hey, let's tune into that show and watch that guy goof around with his equipment. Okay. So the audio is... Microphone is USB audio device and microphone guitar. Okay. I think we're good to go. Hi, Sheila. Thank you. I mean, unplug guitar. Okay, so the guitar is way too loud. I'm here. Good morning. Sounds great to me. Okay, Brandy, tell me, does this sound... Is the guitar feeding back? That's the guitar. Guitar on overdrive. Okay. Oh, it is. I'm sorry, you guys. Here. How's this? Okay. I'm so sorry, you guys. Thank you. And thank you for telling me. You know, lots of times when I would play gigs in bars, you try to set the sound, and then you would say, how's the sound out there? And everyone would be like, woo! And then, like, your drummer's girlfriend would go, oh, no, it's terrible. I can't hear the bass at all, and you guys sound... And it's like, it's not going to hurt my feelings if you tell me this sounds terrible. I just, you know... So if I went, let's see. Is it raspy? I like Sheila's thing. Okay, I was singing this yesterday. Not to totally get off the 80s thing, but 2021 is sounds perfect. Okay, great. 2021 is a weird time. Like, a lot of people thought the world was going to end in 2020. And or Jesus was going to come back or something. The planets were aligning, and it just feels like the world is ending sometimes. Not that the environment is suddenly crashing in on us, but that people, like relationships are over or something, or the family's falling apart, or celebrating. It feels like the world ended in a way, that world that we all lived in just a year ago, where, people behaved a certain way, and then now it's the post time. And I don't know if we're ever going to go back. And the new normal and that kind of language, And so sometimes I wonder, myself included, if we're not all kind of experiencing a sort of grief, death of the end of the world, the way we knew it, So I'm not going to sing REM's End of the World, but when I was playing this last night, the lyrics or the feeling of this old song took a different turn for me. So this is John Denver's Country Roads. And to me, it almost feels like Magie, yep, a bad start to 2021. This takes on new meaning in 2021 about this longing to return home, the home of, the American home of before, So this is Country Roads. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia. Mountain mama, take me home, country roads. I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me, Ray. I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away, and driving down the road I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads take me home. Oh shoot. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia. Mountain mama, take me home, country roads. So sing along. Come on, everybody. Country roads. So, yeah, there's definitely a feeling of sentimental grief in 2021. Because people, I can't, and I think I'm like kind of above it all, but I'm totally not, because I can't stop talking about it. I saw somebody in the grocery store yesterday I haven't seen in a while. And my first response is to somehow make a comment about the current events. And so I said something weird like, so you holding up well in these weird times? Because in northern Minnesota, you just have to lead people to be phony and say only nice things. We're Minnesota nice. So it's like, so you holding up well? I'm telling her what to say to me. Oh, I'm doing great. It is weird times. You know, I lost my business and I've become an alcoholic and my marriage has never been better or never been worse. But I'm holding up well, you know. Miigwet, Sheila, you have a great day too. Thanks for stopping in. Uh, so, so was the guitar and the vocals? I guess I'll find out later. But did that drive anybody away? Um, I mean, we got 9 people. Nice. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there? See, the 80s was the time of Pink Floyd, The Wall. You know, so we were good. Beautiful melodies, love that song. Relaxing and comfortable with a hot cup of coffee this morning. Then Brandy's, no! Hey, BOOZHOO. Time for mushkiki wabu. That's right. Time for some medicine water. Makade mushkiki wabu. This is black medicine water because I don't put coffee and sugar in it anymore. When I was a little kid, I've told the story before, but we lived with my grandparents, and my room was downstairs, right underneath the kind of kitchen dining room area. And so when I was like 6 years old, I had a bunk bed with my brother Scott, and and it was a little, it's a basement of a small house. So you have your bunk bed, and that gives you about 3 feet. So my head was 3 feet from where people were walking. And my grandfather was a fisherman, just that World War II generation. So he would get up, 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, make himself coffee, read the paper, watch the sun come up over the lake, listen to the radio, maybe turn on the TV a little bit. But, it was a gentle, quiet way to wake up. And so the rest of the house would be asleep, but I would wake up with him, and I'd go up there. And my grandpa was like, well, here he comes. Guess I better make him a cup of coffee. He'd pour me some coffee, put just a load of milk and sugar in it. And we'd sit together there watching. And in those days, I heard this once. There was an article once where they were comparing native families to non-native families. And they said Indian people were adult-centered. White people are child-centered. I remember thinking, oh, really? You think you're better parents? But it wasn't that. It was in white families, it's child-centered. So the adults do what makes the kids happy. They'll have a birthday party, and the adults will put on the birthday hats, and we'll get on the floor and play with the kids, the toys with the kids, the games the kids like. But my grandpa's generation was adult-centered. So he still just lived his life like a normal person. But if you wanted to ride along, with him, that's fine. But you did his stuff. He wasn't going to play toys with me on the floor. But if I wanted to ride along to the dump in the pickup with him, I could do that, if he was going fishing, you could go with him. But he wasn't going to oh, let's go to the kiddie thing. Anyway, so he just fixes me coffee, treats me like a grown-up. And I remember sitting there once. Oh, and he was filling up the bird feeders. He had hummingbird feeders. And so it was a mixture of, I don't even know what, Kool-Aid. And he had the hummingbird feeder there. And we were talking. And I was always kind of fascinated with my grandpa. My grandpa, to me, as a kid, was a real Indian. He was really dark. And he had tattoos. He was also a veteran. He had tattoos of when he was in war, during World War II. And he always had stories and mysterious stuff. And he didn't talk all the time, a lot, It was just being around him. Sometimes we'd just be quiet for long periods of time. Or I'd talk at him and he'd just listen. I remember this one morning he goes, I can talk to the birds. And I go, oh, come on, Grandpa, you can't talk to birds. He goes, no, it's true. The birds, they do what I say. I can tell birds what to do. Watch this. And he goes out and he hangs up the hummingbird feeder. And he goes, hummingbirds, come and eat. And sure enough, a hummingbird came around just at that time, and my jaw just dropped open. I was like, holy man, he can command the birds. I believed that for a long time. And then I grew up and went, oh, wait a second. You know, can he command the dog too? Because he feeds the dog and he comes around. But, Christina Berry, oh God, that's true. I never realized that. Too many fishy people taking us for suckers. Not to worry, the suckerfish moon is appearing soon. That is true. NanaBOOZHOO is to tell the suckerfish moon story. Maybe tomorrow. No, I'll have to wait until next month. But essentially, the suckerfish moon, Nome B'nai Gizis, is a story of, it's almost like the Jesus story in a way. It's weird that they're both fish. That the Anishinaabe were starving one winter. And the suckerfish called out to Gitchimanadu and they said, Gitchimanadu, Great Spirit, the people are starving. And Gitchimanadu was like, yeah, what do you want me to do about it? And the fish said, look, tell the Shinabs to come to the lake and break through the ice. And if they come, we'll come to the hole. And they can net us or spear us or whatever. We will give our lives to feed the Anishinaabe. And Gitchimanadu was so touched by this, he said, okay, I'll do that. But tell you what I'm going to do for you. Now every time you have a baby, instead of just one, I will bless you with hundreds of babies. You'll be able to reproduce yourself like no other fish because you're so, I just told the story. And that's why we honor the suckerfish. Shinabs are so funny because, like their main characters, the most heroic characters in Indian story, isn't always the eagle or the bear. Sometimes it's the muskrat or the hummingbird or the suckerfish. They used to choose just the most humble, nondescript animal to be like the savior of the world. That's what I was doing, filling my bird feeders. Hey, right on, Brandy. Morning chores. I have many animals. Good story about the birds. So are you an animal person, Brandy? Yeah, John Denver. I talk about the 80s like I was really hip and stuff, and then I sing a John Denver song. I don't know if history will record this, but John Denver was not considered cool in the 80s. John Denver was very mainstream. He didn't look cool. He didn't follow the trends. He had a bowl haircut. But now that I'm middle-aged and a guitar player and a storyteller, I've learned to love John Denver again. Got that really going out with him? Yeah, then it gets really dark. I mean, it's... If looks could kill, there's a man there who's marked down as dead, 'cause I've had my fill. Listen, you, take your hands from her head. I get so mean around the sea. Hey, 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 hey. Round here, seals and craft. Those are the guys that did Puff and stuff. Well, that's Marty Sid and Marty Croft. Do you guys remember Puffin Stuff? I barely remember Puffin Stuff. There was also a TV show called Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Saturday morning cartoon that, not a cartoon, live action show, puppet show really. That was just so hippie. That was a 70s TV show. There was Puffin Stuff and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. But the Saturday morning song, oh, they did a song about hummingbirds. Oh, now I'm remembering. Hummingbird? No, I'm thinking of Heart. Like I'm going to be able to play it. But again, the old days, there were just these amazing songs. Could you imagine being like the first time you heard Stairway to Heaven? Like you're just driving around, it's a summer day in 1976 or whatever. And, here's a new hit by a band from England called Led Zeppelin. And it's called The Stairway to Heaven. Enjoy. Now we're all sick of that song, but, what are the new music we're hearing now? H&R Puffin, yeah. How about you guys remember Land of the Lost? And I gotta say, like, they tried to remake they made a movie out of it with Will Ferrell. And Will Ferrell, I don't understand why he's famous. He's the opposite of funny. Or attractive But the original TV show in the 70s was so great, especially for little kids. It didn't bother, sometimes it gave you a lesson, told you but that wasn't its main goal. It didn't care about, teaching a lesson to the kids or representing diversity it had no political agenda. It just wanted to be entertaining. So the story was an uncle, or was it a dad? A dad and his son and daughter are on an expedition. What does that mean? They're investigating the wilderness, and they go down this waterfall accidentally, and it ends up in a weird cross multi-dimensional place where dinosaurs, where the past and the future blend together. And I remember actually, the slee stacks could be terrifying. Yeah, they were truly scary. It'd be Saturday morning, you're there sitting on the floor with a bowl of sugar cereal, bright daylight, and as scared as any horror movie I'd seen. They'd be creeping through the caves, and there'd be these half lizard creatures. We weren't sure if they were like prehistoric humans or aliens or what they were. But they would, they were asleep. They always just wake up right after they walk by. But they were asleep for so long that they had cobwebs on them. And they had little crossbows that shot arrows that wouldn't even break the skin. And the costumes were so realistic. Will and Holly. How about, you guys remember Chaka? Chaka-doo, Chaka-doo, Will, hurry, Chaka-doo. And Chaka was always willing to go do the dangerous thing. And they were like, yeah, go ahead. What was Chaka? Was he a caveman or a Bigfoot? Hate to leave you so soon. Brandy Marine, thank you for stopping in. But I'm with you in spirit. Looks like rain. Have a beautiful day. I remember that show, Land of the Lost. You have a beautiful day too, Brandy. Thank you so much. Will and Holly. Well, we got 10 minutes. So, should I bring NANABOOZHOO back out? Christine Berry, thank you so much. Miigwech again for your contribution. Yeah. So my apologies for the poor audio at the beginning. I hope it's okay now. I'm going to play one more thing briefly so when I watch this in replay, I can tell what the sound is. Right now, everything is down on the guitar, and the volume is at about 2 o'clock. And the microphone is at like 3. Turned it up to 11. This is a song by John Denver. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I didn't take my pick when I started the show. Already I don't feel like singing this song. We're watching to Crimson T-Bird. At least that's what I call the show. Hey, nice! Miigwech! Misko Benezi Ninja Nakaz. I am the Crimson T-Bird. She's talking about my Indian name being Red Thunderbird. Some people say, oh, don't tell people your Indian name. I'm like, why? There's so many taboos when it comes to traditional culture, you know. You must never, you must always. Hey, Nanaboozhoo, would you like to come out and say hello to the people again? Well, I would, except you can't see yourself. I know I've totally ruined the illusion of this show. But we'll get it back in just a second. All right, that's not working out. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. Here we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring out one more time the host of the show, Nanaboozhoo. Okay. Thank you, Michael. Hey, Brandy Marie is back. All right, let me see what's going on here. It's so hard to leave. Well, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Brandy. Just come back. So yeah, suckerfish. The suckerfish gave their life so the Anishinaabe could live. The red T-bird sign is hovering over the basket case. Oh, right. Yeah, that's a drum that my wah gave me. When I got my Indian name, the medicine man, he was like, I had a dream about your name. There was a red thunderbird, followed by a yellow bird and a black bird. And so your name will be Red Thunderbird. And here's a drum. And he painted a drum with a red thunderbird and a yellow thunderbird and a black thunderbird. Old Jumbo Downwind. Jumbo. Those are the kind of nicknames we have on in the reservation. You know. You guys have any family members with funny nicknames? You know. I've known people named Big Stink, Booger, Jumbo. Oh, you never left, Brandy. Oh, okay. Nicknames. And what's behind that, the nickname? I think part of it is because we always, with the Indian names, we're very casual about renaming stuff. It's like, oh yeah, your mom gave you that name. Well, I am your wah. I am your, like your uncle or auntie or whatever. I'm going to give you another name. And then when you get older, we might give you a third name. I've known people who've nicknamed infants. It's like, oh, this is our son, whatever his name is. I don't remember anymore. This is our son. We named him John, but we're going to call him Beefy because he's just so beefy. Look how beefy he is. And everyone just called his baby Beefy from the earliest time he was born, even though they like gave him a name and then immediately stopped using that name. Why didn't you just name him Beefy? Hold on, I got to sneeze. Isn't that weird? You can't sneeze when you try to sneeze, but you can feel it. They say look at a light. No, nose is just gonna tickle. So yeah, the nickname. My Jumbo's wife, Ida, she gave me a nickname once. She saw me at a powwow and she goes, "Oh, here he comes, tall, dark, and lonesome." And so for years after that, she's like, "Hey, how's it going, lonesome?" Tall, dark, and lonesome. Do you guys have a nickname? Do you have a nickname? And they called her, what are some other great nicknames? Well, Bowie had all kinds of nicknames. There was Ziggy. Ziggy played guitar. There was the Thin White Duke. The return of the Thin White Duke, throwing darts in lovers' eyes. He went by, well, even Bowie wasn't his name. It was a fake name. His name is David Jones. But he thought there'd be confusion when he became famous, is the story. He goes, well, the Monkees? Their drummer's name is David Jones. So I can't go by David Jones. I'm going to choose a new name. What name should I choose? Well, you like, Mick Jagger, don't you? Yeah, Mick Jagger's cool. I'll be David Jagger. No, don't be David Jagger. How about you be David Bowie, like the Bowie knife? Oh, what? I'll be Jim Bowie. He's an American somebody or other. I mean, it's funny that I host a show about Ojibwe language and culture. You'll notice I don't host a show about Ojibwe history. I'm really dumb when it comes to history. I can't remember nothing. I'm bad at dates. Hey, Geraldine is here. Beautiful hand drum. Yeah, isn't that? He did a nice job. Our drums are all in the inner wall facing the bay window, facing the river in front of the... Oh, I'm sorry. I just ruined that. I should be reading down here. Facing the river in front of the family home. Beautiful cold outside here in Canada. You know, that's the right attitude to have too. Where it's beautifully cold. You know, I've really become housebound in the last couple of weeks because it's been so cold. And it hasn't even been that cold. I think I'm taking too many hot showers. I'm not tolerant of the cold like I used to be. But it's a beautiful morning. Yeah, so next week, this time, Tuesday of next week, we'll be doing a virtual show. I got to make sure I understand this, the sound. But I'm getting nervous. For an hour and a half, I have to get ready. I have to be able to tell stories and be entertaining. And Michael's got to be on, we got to work out some of the bugs. Hey, honey, do you want to be on the show? Not really. It's going to be a big hassle for me to get over there. Yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha's over here, but I'm going to leave it at that. Exodus on Hogan's Heroes, another great TV show. One of the characters' name was Little Deer from the Dakota Turf. Little Deer, Larry Hovis. Now that you say that, I almost remember that episode, Little Deer. I was talking about Dances with Wolves the other day. And in movies, they always have one Indian character that has like a cutesy name. In Dances with Wolves, there's a boy, John Dunbar, Dances with Wolves, saves from the buffalo stampeding him. And his name was like Smiles a Lot. Oh, I'm Smiles a Lot because I smile a lot. It kind of tells the audience exactly how to feel about that character. I mean, you wouldn't have the same appreciation or sympathy for him if his name was Poops a Lot. Here's Diarrhea Butt. Oh no, save my son, Diarrhea Butt. Oh, how come it's just grown-ups here? How come the kids never come to my show? You know how funny I am to a third grader with diarrhea humor? It's cold today. I walked outside and something started running down my nose. I was like, oh no, I thought I was bleeding. But it's snot. No, wait. I thought my nose was bleeding, but it's snot. It's not bleeding. It's snot. Yeah, little kids love puns and just dumb. That's why the knock-knock joke is so funny, because they get it right away. They'll be like, knock, knock, who's there? Boo. Boo-hoo. Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. Boo-hoo. Get it? Because boo-hoo means crying. They love it. I told this one joke at a elementary school in Bina. There's a school called Bagunagishig. Bagunagishig. He was a great hero to the Anishinaabe for being, I don't know, a chief or something. So they named their school after this guy. And I'm supposed to go in there and teach the kids about culture and, language. And so I told them this joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Madame. Madame who? Open the door. Madame, butt's freezing off. Or something like that. And they all cracked up because I said, damn. Open the door. You got the door's on my damn foot. That's what it was. Open the door. The door's stuck on my damn foot. I don't know. Oh, I was a big hit that day. Kids were giving me high fives. Also, Michael, you've noticed this. What's that? When you go to the schools and you draw something on the wall, little kids are just impressed. You know what we should do? We should have a show where you can be our guest artist and you can draw something on camera. That would be fun, except it seems like a huge hassle with camera. I mean, I can barely transition from changing seats. Oh yeah, I suppose. Anyway, Michael draws cartoons, and when he goes to schools, the kids are like, "Can you draw SpongeBob?" And he's all like, "Oh, can I draw a square with cartoon eyes and a pointy nose?" Yeah. Oh, I remember one time, Michael, you should tell this story. But the kids were like, "Hey, draw SpongeBob." And Michael was all, "What does SpongeBob look like?" He goes, "Well, he's a sponge." And so he drew, a sponge. And he's got big round eyes, and he drew just cartoon eyes. And he got a nose, and he drew a different kind of nose. No, it's pointy. And the kids, it was like going to a police sketch. It was like SpongeBob had committed a crime at the school, and they had to describe SpongeBob to the police sketch artist. But sure enough, by the time Michael was done, it looked just like SpongeBob. Because you looked him up on your phone afterwards, and you were like, yeah, it's true. SpongeBob is really easy to draw. So Michael, how come you draw aliens all the time? Well, aliens are really easy to draw, just like SpongeBob. Steven is essentially Spider-Man without as much detail. Oh yeah, I suppose, huh? Oh yeah. And a clean X emoji. Nice, Richard. Oh, hey, BOOZHOO, Richard. How you doing? Welcome to the show. You showed up just right at the end. So yeah, this is the 1 hour podcast. We're going to start doing this every morning. Once again, you planned absolutely nothing. But I like to just stop in and say BOOZHOO. We're still going to make Ojibwe language videos. Huh, sweetie? Yeah! But that takes some editing and music and stuff. So we'll keep posting, word of the day. But I think our 6 o'clock, count on us being here again tomorrow. I'm going to Majan, as I say. Majada. Let's go. Majada. Maja means to leave. And then if you want to say let's, you add a da to the end. Majada. Majada. Let's go. Let's leave. But in in the Cass Lake, people have kind of turned it into, well, I suppose you better Majan. It's time to up and Majan. Huh, honey? Should we go? Should we Majan and Maj away? I'm just kidding. I heard a story once, powwow, this guy came up. Any of you guys who speak, well, I'll just tell you what it is. In the Ojibwe word way, there's an expression about, how we make babies called majaway. And it means to dip fat in grease, in hot grease or something. How to Kentucky fry fat or something. But anyway, it's called majaway. And this elder was at a powwow once, and he was telling us a story. He goes, yeah, there was this lady. And she was learning the language, and she was trying to teach her kids. She was like, "Hey, kids, OJIBWE, let's go." I had to go up to her and tell her, "I think you mean Majada." You don't want to be shouting that word at a powwow. Majaway. Majada, let's go. Anyway, I think I'm going to go. I want to wish you all the happiest of Tuesdays. Today is like no other day that's ever been, or no other day that will ever be. And so we say, in the Ojibwe way, I will see you again. Oh, and I'd like to thank Michael Lyons for his songs and for wrecking the sound. But I am Nanaboozhoo, and I will see you again. Gigawabamin, Minawa, Hoa. Miigwech Kanawabieg. Thank you for watching. And live stream. Are you sure you want to end? Oh yeah, I've thought about it through. No, this isn't a rash decision. I am sure.